I stepped out of the car, clutching the paper bag of takeout like it could somehow anchor me. The air was heavy with the scent of motor oil and rain-soaked asphalt. The only sound was the distant hum of traffic and the soft drip of water from the edge of the roof. "James?" I called out, my voice echoing across the dimly lit lot. No answer. The lights inside the garage were off, but the side door stood slightly ajar. My pulse quickened. James never left the place unlocked, ever. I pushed the door open, my heels clicking against the concrete floor. The faint smell of gasoline and metal hung in the air. His tools were neatly arranged on the workbench, just as he always kept them, but something was wrong. His phone was on the counter, screen cracked, buzzing with missed calls. From me. That's when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Mrs. Mitchell, please come to 1875 Highland Avenue immediately. It's about your husband." My heart stopped. Highland Avenue was in the industrial district, miles from the garage. I froze, my thoughts spiraling. About your husband, what did that mean? Was he hurt? In trouble? I didn't think, I just moved. With shaking fingers, I typed the address into my GPS and sped through the darkening city, the takeout bag forgotten on the passenger seat. Rain began to fall harder, streaking the windshield. My mind raced back over the past few weeks, the secretive calls, the late nights, the tension in his smile when I asked how work was going. He always brushed it off with, "Just a busy season, babe." Now, I wasn't so sure. When I reached Highland Avenue, the streets were nearly deserted. The only light came from a flickering street lamp and a single warehouse with its doors wide open. I parked and stepped out, heart hammering against my ribs. "James?" I called again, my voice cracking. No answer. The warehouse was cavernous, echoing, silent, smelling faintly of burnt rubber. I took a hesitant step forward, my heels slipping slightly on the damp concrete. Then I saw it, his truck, parked near the back, hood open, tools scattered around it. And next to it, James. He was kneeling beside the truck, his hands covered in grease, looking up at me with startled eyes. Relief flooded me, until I noticed the other man standing beside him. Tall, sharply dressed, holding a clipboard, and the logo on his jacket made my blood run cold. Hamilton Industries. For a moment, none of us spoke. The sound of rain hitting the tin roof filled the silence. "Charlotte," James finally said, standing up and wiping his hands. His voice was calm, too calm. "You weren't supposed to be here." "Weren't supposed?" I took a step closer, confusion and fear battling inside me. "What's going on, James? Why is someone from my father's company here?" The man in the suit smiled, a thin, practiced expression that reminded me of the boardroom sharks I'd grown up around. "Mrs. Mitchell," he said smoothly, "your husband's been helping us with a project, a very lucrative one." I turned to James, my throat tightening. What is he talking about? James looked torn, guilt flickering across his face before he could hide it. "Charlotte, I was going to tell you, I swear, but things got complicated." "Tell me what?" My voice broke. "Please, James, don't lie to me." He ran a hand through his hair, eyes dark with regret. "Your father approached me months ago. He said he wanted to make peace, that he'd found a way for me to prove myself. He offered me a contract to design a new line of eco-efficient engines under Hamilton Industries." My breath caught. "You're working for my father?" "I was, Charlotte. It started as a way to build a future for us, something real, something that could make him see I wasn't a mistake in your life. But when I realized what he wanted," he trailed off, shaking his head. "It wasn't about innovation, it was about control." The man in the suit took a step forward. "You were supposed to deliver the final blueprints tonight. Mitchell, don't make this harder than it has to be." James's jaw tightened. "You can tell your boss the deal's off. I'm not handing over anything." My heart pounded in my ears. "What blueprints?" "The ones I designed," James said quietly. "They could cut carbon emissions in half, but your father wanted to patent them under Hamilton Industries, erase my name entirely." I felt dizzy. My father's voice from years ago echoed in my mind, "A Hamilton never settles for second best." He hadn't just wanted to destroy my choices, he wanted to own everything, even the man I loved. "James," I whispered, stepping closer, "we'll go to the police, we'll fix this." The suited man smirked. "You won't get that chance." Suddenly, the sound of tires screeching echoed outside, headlights cutting through the darkness. Two more men stepped out of a black SUV. James grabbed my hand. Run. We bolted toward the side exit, the echo of footsteps pounding behind us. The night exploded into chaos, shouting, the crunch of gravel, my heart hammering like a drum. Rain plastered my hair to my face as we sprinted toward my car. James yanked open the passenger door, shouting, drive. As I slammed on the gas, bullets shattered the side mirror, glass spraying across my lap. I screamed, swerving hard. Behind us, the warehouse faded into darkness. James, I gasped, what have they done? What's happening? He turned to me, his eyes filled with fear, and something else. Charlotte. I think your father just declared war. I called his number, straight to voicemail. Once, twice, 3 times. Each ring felt heavier than the last, echoing through the silence of our small apartment. James never ignored my calls, never. By the 4th attempt, my hands were shaking, and a sick knot twisted in my stomach. Just as panic started to bloom in my chest, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Mrs. Mitchell, please come to 1875 Highland Avenue immediately. It's about your husband. My heart stopped cold. Highland Avenue. That was the industrial district, empty warehouses, tech startups, and construction sites, miles from James's garage. A dozen awful possibilities flashed through my mind. Accident, hospital, police. With trembling fingers, I typed the address into my GPS and drove through the darkening city, headlights cutting through sheets of rain. Every red light felt like torture, every shadow made my heart race faster. The GPS finally announced, "You have arrived at your destination," and I stared, stunned. The address didn't lead to a dingy repair shop or a hospital. It was a sleek, towery. James straightened, releasing my hand. His expression hardened into calm professionalism. Actually, he said evenly, I'm the CEO. The room fell silent. My mother blinked rapidly, gripping a chair for balance. Bradley's mouth fell open, and my father, my proud, domineering father, went completely still. Excuse me, he said at last, his voice dangerously low. James walked around the desk, extending a hand. James Mitchell, founder and chief executive officer of Mitchell Innovations. A pleasure, Mr. Hamilton. My mother made a small choking sound. But you're a mechanic. James smiled faintly. I am. I own a chain of auto repair shops. That was my first company. But Mitchell Innovations is my main business. We specialize in advanced electric vehicle batteries. That's what those late nights were about. We were finalizing a new prototype. My head spun. My husband, my struggling mechanic, was the CEO of one of the fastest growing tech companies in the world. Why didn't you tell me? I whispered. His gaze softened. Because I needed to be sure. Charlie, when we met, I'd just been listed on Forbes 30 under 30. Every woman I dated before you was chasing status or money. I needed to know that someone could love me for who I am, not what I have. He looked down, smiling slightly. Then you showed up with a broken Ferrari, sat with me for hours drinking bad coffee, and talked about life like it was something real. You didn't care about appearances. You saw me. I felt tears sting my eyes. So you were testing me? No, he said softly. I was falling in love with you. My father cleared his throat, breaking the fragile silence. Mitchell Innovations, he muttered, eyes narrowing. That's the company every auto manufacturer is fighting to partner with. The one revolutionizing EV technology. That's you? James nodded. As of last week, our valuation passed $122 billion. He smiled politely. Not quite Hamilton Industries level yet, but give us time. My father looked like someone had stolen the floor out from under him. And now, James continued, tone calm but firm, I'd like to discuss how you treated your daughter, the woman who, by the way, became one of Mitchell Innovations' largest shareholders when she married me. The words hit like a thunderclap. My father's face drained of color. Now see here, he sputtered, trying to regain composure. We were simply looking out for her future. By controlling her, by threatening to cut her off, by calling me names and trying to ruin her job prospects. James's voice sharpened. She deserved better, and you knew it. Daddy, I said quietly, stepping forward, you always told me Hamiltons never settle for second best. Well, I didn't. I married the best man I've ever known, and I did it without knowing a thing about his money. My mother's expression softened as she reached out to me. Charlotte, sweetheart, we were wrong. Please, come home. I looked around the gleaming office. At the man who had loved me through everything, when I was rich, when I was broke, when I was scared. I am home, Mom, I said gently, but if you want to be part of our lives, it has to be on our terms, no more manipulation, no more control. My father swallowed hard, pride and business instinct warring in his eyes. And Hamilton Industries, he said at last, where does that stand? James smiled politely. Funny you should ask. We've had several offers from your competitors for exclusive partnerships, but, given the family connection, he extended a hand. Perhaps we can discuss something mutually beneficial, as equals. For the first time in my life, my father hesitated before shaking someone's hand. The next hour blurred into surreal conversation. My father and James talked business while my mother fussed about our apartment and hinted at grandbabies. Bradley excused himself quietly, looking like he'd swallowed a lemon. Later that night, back in our small apartment, the same one we'd chosen together, furnished with thrift store finds and love, I curled up beside James. Why, I whispered, why live like this when you have billions? He smiled, brushing a strand of hair from my face. Because this life, our life, is real. The garage keeps me grounded, and this apartment, it reminds me of the woman who chose me for me, not the headlines, not the fortune. Tears filled my eyes. I love you, you sneaky billionaire. He chuckled, and I love you, my runaway heiress. Life changed after that, but not in the ways people expected. We did move, eventually, not into a mansion, but a modest house we picked together. I took over Mitchell Innovations' charitable foundation, helping young inventors and entrepreneurs chase their dreams. James still spends time at his garage, teaching kids from struggling neighborhoods about engines, ambition, and integrity. As for my parents, they're learning. Mom still drops hints about grandchildren with trust funds, and Dad still tries to treat every dinner like a board meeting. But there's respect now, something we never had before. And every time we pass that old apartment, or grab takeout from our favorite Thai place, James will glance at me with that same warm smile, the one he gave me the day my Ferrari broke down and my life began. Because in the end, love doesn't measure worth in wealth, status, or names carved on marble towers. It measures it in laughter, resilience, and truth. And we, James and I, found something better than empires or inheritance. We found each other.